Nite with Kendra Dossie, and here's your host, Kendra Dossie.
Hello, everyone. How are you on this lovely March evening, Zach?
I'm doing fantastic. I cannot complain one bit. Even though that's basically what most of the show is. As far as the day goes, I can't complain.
That's good. We will find a way to complain. Yes. But yes, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah. How about yourself? How's your day going?
I'm doing pretty good. I I walked around. I have a cat. Capitalism is still around, but my life isn't right. Completely awful.
It sounds like capitalism sort of puts like a ceiling on how good your day can be, but also having a cat sort of puts a floor on how bad your day can be.
Exactly, because she does a lot of goofy, cute things.
Right.
Like, it's true. It's very true.
Right. So what's on your mind today?
Well, I will tell you what's on my mind today, Zach. I actually have a little bit of a test for you to prove how good of an ally you are. I know you love opportunities like that. Let's get the slideshow pulled up. Hell yeah. So this quiz is called Black History Month Forever. Wakanda Forever, et cetera, et cetera. And here are going to be the rules of the quiz. Let's go to the next slide. So at Left Nite, we obviously believe that Black History Month should not be regulated and ghettoized to the shortest, coldest month of the year, and achievements of Black people should be celebrated all year round. So now we're doing this Black History Month quiz. I don't care that it's fucking March. You're going to listen to it and you're going to learn some shit, okay? What I'm going to do is I will ask Zach 5 questions about Black history. And for each question he gets wrong, he will have to donate $5 to a Black organization. I have not decided the particular organization. I think Frugal's Bookstore could probably still use some help, actually. Let me see. Because I think there was a fire. I'm gonna... Let's see. Yeah, let's donate $5 to Frugal Bookstore. Which is a bookstore, the only Black-owned bookstore in the Boston area. That was a lot of bees, but they provide a lot of books to people. They're very well-known, like mainstay. And I'm hoping that for once, a white man's ignorance will actually help Black people. So let's get it started. So first question is, who recruited a group of 16 Black Americans to travel to the contemporary Soviet Union to work on increased agricultural productivity? And a lot of these Black Americans actually worked in the Soviet Union for like 6 or 7 years afterward. It was a good amount of time.
This is really great that you did not give me a year on this at all.
Oh, well, it was when the Soviet Union was around.
Okay. All right. So, it's sometime between 1917 and 1991. So, yes. Oh boy. So increased agricultural productivity was probably early on. So I'm going to say that it's probably pretty early. So I'm gonna say.
This will help. It was another Black American.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to say W.E.B. Du Bois.
Okay, it was not him. It was actually someone whose name isn't well known. It was Oliver Gordon. Yep. So Oliver Gordon, he was actually, I believe he was like a professor. He worked at the Tuskegee Institute, and he was basically like, hey, like the Soviet Union gave me a good deal. I get lots more money than I would be making here, because this was like around the Great Depression. This was the 1930s.
Sure.
He was like, and they're like not racist to me over there. So if you want to get money, you could head over. And he actually recruited a few people. One person, I believe there is a documentary about him called Black Russia. I don't know if it's about, there's a few documentaries. One was Kremlin to Kremlin. I think it's about his son, who was Black American, but born in the Soviet Union, and his first language was like Russian. But then one man, his name was like Joseph Rowan. And he went to Uzbekistan with his wife, and he like worked on having a type of cotton that was better for Uzbekistan's climate, basically. And he was there for like a good amount of time until the Soviet Union was like, okay, you have to give up your American citizenship or leave. And then they went back and they were like, oh, like America's racist. Yeah. So that is it. All right, let's so that's $5 to the Frugal Bookstore. Let's go to the next question. What was the highest degree that Black Panther Party co-founder and member Huey P. Newton obtained?
So like his highest
academic degree.
Academic degree.
Yeah.
I don't believe he held any sort of higher degrees. I mean, well, he spent time in prison, which is always a big sort of like if you spend time in prison, like there's no telling how much of a degree you can get. But
you have a lot of time to learn.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I'm saying is that like they're like rappers with masters because they spend time behind bars. I'm going. So I feel like it's either going to be. I don't think Huey Newton cared much for the American education system. I'm gonna shoot low. And say that he had an 8th grade. He had an 8th grade was the highest degree that he got.
So, final answer.
Well, when you say it like that, it makes me feel like I have to change it.
I'm just wondering.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Okay. You know. So Huey P. Newton actually has a PhD from the University of California in social philosophy.
Okay, it's
I
not.
He got it in 1980.
I mean, I think Huey Newton is an extremely smart man. I'm not questioning whether or not that is the case.
Yeah, yeah.
I just didn't. I just had it. You know, I knew it was going to be in one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
So I just
He went on the Angela Davis track and like got mad degrees, I think, after he earned actually he graduated from I don't know if he went to like undergrad, but he got a PhD. So look at him. He's doing great. All right, let's go to the next question. So after the anti-white massacres in 1804, Haitian leader Jean-Jacques Dessalines referred to what ethnic group as the white Negroes of Europe. I did forget to mention that he's Haitian, but he is Haitian.
Well, yes. It's a black guy named Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
Okay, yes. I know that's a huge hint, but he could be, he could be like Senegalese. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's 1804. I actually happen to know the answer to this. It is they're Polish.
Yep. The Polish people are the white Negroes of Europe. Say that to a Polish person, see what they say, especially as they're preventing black people from crossing into their border right now.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's interesting, and shout out to my wonderful girlfriend Ella, who is the source of this knowledge for me. But I looked into it, and it's basically that like Napoleon sent like a bunch of Polish people to go stomp down the Haitian Revolution, and the Polish people are like, no, we have more in common with these people than we do with fucking Napoleon.
True knowledge.
So and I think that's like a great like any white person who's like afraid of like the struggle for black people and black uprising and stuff like that. It's like it's very easy to not have to worry about that. You just have to be on the right side.
Yeah. You just have to be on the right side. The people who were not on the right side were white French people who were former, I think it was like former slaveholders, some like whatever. Yeah, they were they were genocided. Yeah, so there's that.
Not really genocided, because it was more of like a classicide sort of, but yes.
Well, no, they there were a few like from reading the Wikipedia page very recently, I think there were a few white people that were just like kind of, I mean, they let like Polish people and Germans off, but I think they were like, okay, like all French people, doesn't matter like whose side they were on. And then they were like, oh, white woman, you could like stay around if you marry a black man. So it was, there's a lot of takes on this moment in Haitian history. CLR James, who is a very noted Black Marxist historian and basically like person of thought, was like, this was not great policy, because actually like the Haitian Revolution and that massacre in particular did kind of influence U.S. policy, because after that, a lot of French people who escaped Haiti and came to America, or even just like white people looking at it, were like, well, won't you see what Black people do if we free them? And it
led to more things like slave patrols and stuff like that.
Yes. But in spite of all of this, you know, I can't change history. It happened. But there's a part of me that does, the energy behind it is, you know, not the actual actions. We at Left Nite love white people, but you know,
no, you don't have to, it's, you know, you don't have to you know, add any sort of, just CLR James is he the Black Jacobins? Is that his book?
Yes, I do. Okay. I'm like 95% sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And Friends, like, I think it was, you know, no one was like, oh, that wasn't very nice of you. It was more of like, oh, this had long-term effects of like policy and stuff. Right. And like, yeah, if you held slaves and you live in a place where all the slaves rebelled, then you probably want to leave.
So fans of Left Nite, be sure to read the Black Jacobins and then tell us what's in there, because we haven't read it.
Yeah, I have ADD, but I know it's an important book. It's very important, and also it is Caribbean solidarity, because CLR James is Trinidadian. So just like Nicki Minaj, who is completely separate from all of this. Let's go to the next question. All right. So what is the name of the South African dance frequently used in political protests? These were very popular in anti-apartheid protests.
Oh, boy. This is not even in the realm of things I can guess.
It's not?
I don't know the answer to this. The only thing I could do is make up an African sounding word, which would be extreme. I would have to pay $10 for getting that one wrong if I did that.
Okay, let's pull up the answer.
I'm just gonna pass.
Okay, that's fair. It is Toyi Toyi. So this is quite popular, was quite popular. In fact, people in neighboring countries banned it. In Zimbabwe, which at the time did have a Black ruler, he banned it. So there's that. But yeah, Toyi Toyi is the answer. I believe I'm saying it right. If I'm not, and you're from South Africa, just let me know.
Unless you're a white South African, then we don't care what you.
If you're white South African, shut the fuck up. If you're not, let us know. I also don't know any. I don't know any like African languages that originated in Africa. So let's go to the final question. Okay. All right. What was the strike going on? I might have not worded this the best, but what strike was going on when Martin Luther King delivered his "I've Been to the Mountaintop" speech?
Oh boy.
And he actually did it in the same place where the strike was happening.
Yes. Oh boy. I can't. I believe when he died, he was attending a sanitation workers strike. But I don't think that's. Maybe that's the same as the I've Been to the Mountaintop. I mean, maybe that's around the same time. Like
it is. He was in Memphis during the Memphis sanitation workers strike.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to say it's sanitation strike. Am I right?
Okay. Yes. Memphis sanitation strike. We could go to the next slide.
All right.
So yes. So so now you just owe $15 because you did not make up an African word for the South African protest dance. Yeah. So yeah, he was in Memphis and he actually mentioned the Memphis sanitation workers. He mentioned like there are public service servants who are just trying to get their fair due, but they have to fight for their rights. And sanitation workers, of course, they weren't like uniformly Black, but there were a lot of Black people who worked there. It's probably this is probably a great example of both white and Black people, and I guess people of any other race who are there kind of joining together to work on the same goal. One of the leaders of the sanitation strike was Black. So definitely it was a it was a example of like kind of racial unity towards the rich people. So yeah, there we go. That is the quiz. You owe $15 to the Frugal's Bookstore's fundraiser. If you live in Boston, Frugal's Bookstore is really cool. It's in Nubian Square. The dude who runs it is really nice. You should go buy some stuff and also donate to the fundraiser. Definitely do that. We will be back after this brief commercial break.
Hello, Zach here. I have been tasked with giving the official left Nite response to President Biden's State of the Union address. Because I guess, people do that a lot. The Republicans did one last night. I didn't watch, but I guess people give responses. So officially, this is left Nite's response to the State of the Union address. I don't know. I didn't watch it. Did you watch? Why would I watch that? I didn't. So I didn't watch that. I don't know what he said. I did a little bit of research on it. It seemed like he was like, "Oh, the economy is gonna get." He said something about the economy, and it was probably wrong. He probably was wrong about that. I'll put myself on record saying that. And then he was like, COVID's almost over. It's going to be coming. We're seeing the end, which, let's wait and see about that. Let's, yeah. All right. Okay, Joey B. Let's see where that goes. And then he was like, we don't need to defund the police. We need to refund the police. And it's like, yeah, sure, of course. And I want to, refund me for the fucking money I spent on those guys. Jesus Christ. And so I think that's everything that he said. I like I said, didn't watch it. Don't care. So that's the official left Nite. You know what? The official left Nite response to Joe Biden's State of the Union address. That I got your response right there.
Okay, we're back.
All right.
We're back. All right.
Yes. So, well, things are happening this week. I guess before we get into things that are happening, of course, as you know, during that break, I made a response to Joe Biden's State of the Union address last night. Okay. Any final thoughts that you have about his State of the Union address?
I didn't watch it because I was busy watching Botched on Peacock instead. And also, the app kept fucking freezing. I wanted to see this woman get her bad breast implants taken out. I wanted to see some titties getting fixed, all right? But everyone was watching State of the Union. I don't even know why. It's not like he said anything interesting other than he didn't say abortion. And he was like, oh, we should actually keep funding the police, which they were never defunded. So I'm mad at Joe Biden for a lot of things, but also because he ruined my Botched watching. So what are your thoughts, Zach?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think everything I have to say, I said in the video. But in other news of things that is happening, so I guess I gotta admit, I believe we've been doing this show for almost a year and a half now.
Yeah, it was a while.
And I have to admit, for the first time in the history of the show that I can remember, I was wrong. I did not think that Ukraine was going to be invaded. I thought that it was a lot of posturing. I thought it was going to mostly be on borders and maybe just slightly over into Donbass region. But yeah, Ukraine got invaded, and I was wrong. A year and a half of being right about everything. I'll take it, but I was wrong in this one.
Yeah, Ukraine was invaded. Of course, that is a big thing. There are some things I would love to be wrong about. Of course, this is probably not something you wanted to be wrong about. Like it would be way more chill if Ukraine wasn't invaded. But there's a lot of discourse around it. There's something that I like to call the Harry Potterification of international politics, where there's a lot of people that are like, oh, like Russia is Slytherin and Ukraine is like Hufflepuff. Like it's not quite like that, but we do want to extend support to all people.
Did you see the Marvel the Marvel like the Infinity War or whatever or Endgame video?
I didn't, and I like want to protect my peace, so I probably will not want
do not watch it. Do not watch.
We do extend our support and sympathies to all people who are very negatively affected by this war. Obviously, like working class people, and not Nazis. And now there's a lot of sanctions against Russia, which, like, I'm guessing no country is really smart enough to think about how it will hit the billionaires more than like the like Russian gals just trying to sell their pics of themselves on OnlyFans. But
Right. And in particular, we're getting not just like official U.S. sanctions, but we're getting what I can only describe, as long as we're like making up adjectives, this conflict is getting freedom fryification in terms of like people like getting mad about vodka and
most vodka isn't immediately Russian, but like if you have already purchased the Russian vodka, just drink it. Like, also, I don't even know like how much of that money would actually be going. I feel like
it's already been imported at this point. Like, I feel like for any money they're getting at the import point. Like,
yeah, but Tito's is good.
Yeah, or just drink gin like an adult.
Just drink gin, a true patriotic drink. No,
yes. I mean, yes. Yeah, and although I did find out an interesting thing about how Stoli was like the official Soviet vodka, and then like when the Soviet Union dissolved, some guys in like Latvia or Lithuania, one of the Baltic states, were just like, oh, by the way, we have the Stoli now. We're making it, and it's our private business. So it's been like there's like a decades long like amount of like lawsuits about the disputed ownership of Stoli, but it is not made in Russia. The one you're getting in America is from the Baltics, so we're, along with the freedom fryification, we're also getting what I can only describe as the Cuomo sexualization of the president of Ukraine.
Yes, that's cringe. That's very cringe.
He's so bad.
Yeah, and like I understand why. I like the story of the president of Ukraine is wild as hell because he was a comedian that played the president on like a TV show, and then like I guess the production company was like, what if we like ran like a protest campaign, and then he actually won, and now he's like literally like fighting off Russian troops in Kyiv. I do not envy him. But like if you think he's hot, just keep it to yourself, okay? Like don't be like, oh, he's so hot, he's like shooting. Like just keep it to yourself. The man's just fighting for his life. He like your thirst posts on Facebook are not going to help him.
And we all saw how that other shoe dropped with Cuomo. Like, yeah, like, I don't really take one side or the other. I think that NATO and the U.S. probably fucked this guy, who probably more than anything just wanted to keep the peace. Yeah. And obviously, Putin fucked him as well. So I feel bad for this guy who seems like this was not what he wanted, but like there is a non-zero chance that he's like commanding the Azov battalion in 6 months, and everybody's gonna be like have to delete all of their thirst
tweets. I would hope he is Jewish, but like I also politicians is
right.
Yes. We just don't know. We don't know what's going on in Ukraine. We don't know where. If you're donating money to the Ukrainian military, maybe like don't, because you don't. Also, there were people who were mad that they couldn't donate to a foreign army on Patreon. It's like, no, that's not like a dude whose podcast you listen to.
Yes.
This is defending a nation state. There is a reason.
Right. And that's why, like, overall, like, I'm not going to try to like have like a particular take on like what's the correct course of action, but between these sort of like lionizing stories that are coming out, and like the like blatant Russophobia, and like them allowing people to just sort of, if people want to cross the border, you don't need a visa if you say you're going to fight, and like.
Yeah, and I wonder how many of those stories are true, because like this is an age where it's like just so easy to put out propaganda on like both sides. You're just like, yeah, I took this picture. This is a drone that was found in Ukraine, and it could be like, I think there's been photos where it's like, this is a Ukrainian girl standing up to a Russian guy, and it was actually like,
it was Palestinian. Yes, I saw that as well.
Yeah, so like. But who knows what's happening?
It's just like they're really letting like Americans like get like really excited to it, to the point at which we have like Hillary Clinton on MSNBC pretty much like implying that we need another Mujahideen like we did in Afghanistan.
Yeah, that was weird.
And like people are talking about a no-fly zone and don't really know what that means, and like what the implications of saying that we'll shoot down any Russian planes that fly into this area. It's really, really like, just like, regardless of how you feel about like what the course of action is, there's something eerie about how this is all veering off.
Yeah, people seem really excited about this war. When war isn't fun. It's not fun. It's not a chance for you to, I mean, I guess it is technically a chance for you to make a silly meme, but like you shouldn't. War is more complicated than like Vladimir Putin is like puffy faced, and that's why that's why he's got to lose, because like what's his name, Volodymyr Zelensky is like Harry Potter. It's like, no, this isn't.
Yes, it's really rough, especially when enough people have traded on this, but a lot of the people you see making these memes, you've never seen them speak out against American foreign policy. You've never seen them take a stand on anything.
Like the 20 other wars and invasions are going on right now. Like they're all bad, definitely. Like, it's all bad, but there's definitely. There's been people on the news explicitly saying, like, I can't believe this was happening in our white nation.
Right. Oh, the news is getting real racist quick.
It's weird. It's getting weird quick.
Yeah.
Also, like, two world wars were based in Europe, like predominantly in Europe. Like, this wasn't. Yes. Why? Anyway,
there was also like everything that happened in the Balkans in our lifetime.
Yes.
But I guess people in the like Balkans aren't real white people, or
because they're Muslim. They're like, oh, these are like ethnic whites because they're Muslim. And they're like Turkish. But we are at 30 minutes, so and we do have Rachel. So Zach, do you have any closing remarks?
I guess. Good for Kim Kardashian for legally being divorced now. Just to follow up on a previous story that I felt like we just
a weird turn of events when I want to congratulate a Kardashian, but good for you, Kim.
Good for you.
So thank you so much for watching. Stick around for honorable mentions. featuring Rachel Jane Andelman. It's sure to be a blast. And I will see you next week. Thank you.